Okay, I think we're going to try to go live this morning. I've had to update my account and go with something new, so I'm not actually technically sure this is even going to work. For those of you that caught in with us the other day, my computer broke down, so we're trying out OBS Studio instead of what I used to be using, which is Game Show. I am getting a live green signal. Look at that. That's great. So with that in mind, I guess let's just dive in and see how this all works. Boom. So this is what I wanted to take a look at. We wanted to basically roll into Bitcoin's price today. So there's some really important things that's taking place right now. One of the main things, if you look over here, you can tell when we broke down the first this trend and support line that we have been following actually for quite some time. If we scroll out to the just a little bit back on the hourly here, you can see we started this trend and support line right around this original. This was the day that the SEC commissions came out and started talking crap about Bitfinex. We stayed below that, broke through above 6,400, and we'd actually followed this trend line up and bounced off it one, two, three, four, 5 times all the way up until we broke down. Now we looked at this point, we said, look, this looks like an easy breakdown spot and the potential for the ABC retracement. Now what came next was really important. Obviously the fall down, but here, if you look on the hourly, we haven't actually been able to close above or even touch the EMA line of the bear claw here. And this is important, well, for a few reasons. If you can't get up and touch the EMA line, it's showing a very, very large amount of exhaustion in buying. Now, we had originally speculated that there might be more room for upside. So depending on what had happened here is if we had broke through 8,200 or 8,300, that it still might go up. Now the downside obviously is now becoming more apparent. I think as we move forward, mic check, everyone's saying speak closer to the mic, sound's still low, volume's really low. Okay, you know, I'm not, again, so this, I'm just trying to use a new program now, and I'm not really sure how to use it, I guess. OBS Studio is giving me a little bit of flack. So let's actually, again, we just got a new computer, so I'm trying to get everything back up and running again. Thank you guys for all for helping me figure this out. Internal microphone, input volume, check. Okay, there we go. That's probably much better. Anyways, hopefully that fixed the sound for you guys. I'm not entirely sure. I think it did. Good from now on. Okay, brilliant. So what we're looking at here is the fact that Bitcoin couldn't get back up above or even touch these EMA lines. Now, what's interesting now here is the downside potential. Now, in the past, when we had seen Bitcoin's retracements on the daily, they had been anywhere between 30 to 40%. So where would that take us? Now, if we go from the top of this channel instead of where we are today, we're going to probably get a much clearer picture. I think anywhere between $5,400 and $4,700 could be likely. Now, these are going to become descending areas of probability. So the last video I made, there's a little bit of confusion, and I'm sorry for this, but sometimes I say things so quickly that only really the private Bear Den members get the written down version of it. But essentially what we had said was we would see the support around 7,400, which we saw. It bounced right off of it twice, and now it's going to test it the third time. Now, here's the really important test of that resistance area, because if it breaks below 7,400, we're definitely coming down to 68, and then 6,400 are the two main areas of resistance here. We'll probably have some fairly large buying power come in to spike us back up to make sure that these are not just a straight downfall in price. But over the course of the next probably 2-3 weeks to a month, this is really going to develop itself into an important place to pay attention to. Whether you're a short trader, whether you jump into USD or fiat, well, that's really up to you. The important part here is we've been seeing weakness in Bitcoin's price, and the fact that we didn't break above 9,200, all we did was spike up and touch it. That took everything else for the larger benefactors off of the table. Now, again, the important part here is to notice the emotional sentiment that goes into it. Now, again, these are all asymmetrical bets. We've said this a few times before, which means that it could go to zero or it could be worth maybe tens of millions of dollars. That's what an asymmetric bet looks like. You have a lot. You have nothing. You have everything to lose, but also everything to gain. It's a very, very important place to pay attention to for those reasons. And now it says I'm offline. Is that the case? Did I just go offline? I can't stream with this new software. I'm not sure. I'm not even sure if we're still streaming, ladies and gentlemen. You know, I can't necessarily tell. I'm just trying a new software. Had to replace the computer overnight, so I'm not even sure this stuff functions the way it normally does. But the fun part here, again, is the fact that we could see massive downside. This is really going to put a shock into the markets for most of the newbies who had entered. But now, even more importantly, I think we're going to see the further of the downside potential. Now, this was a beautiful spike up. That was definitely a bull market on the midterm, right? That was a beautiful bull market on the midterm. Absolutely wonderful. Yeah, you are still live. You're online. You're fine. Yeah, I'm getting a red stream health button. You know, it's so crappy. We had fixed all of this stuff with the previous one, and now it's not working. And bitrate, video, audio bitrate, software output mode. Yeah, now it's just difficult. You know, no matter what I do, I can't seem to get the live streams to work. And because of that, YouTube's actually been dinging us. For those of you that have been with us for a long time, they've been slowly pushing us down and down further into the ranks because we don't do live streams all the time like we used to. It's actually quite disappointing that YouTube doesn't give you a little more credit for the fact that you do work all the time, even though it's not on a daily basis. I definitely see why people get the YouTuber burnout. You're like, oh really? You're just gonna kick me down just because I didn't produce a video every day? Screw you YouTube. Anyways, while we're at it, screw you Google. I hope you lose the lawsuit against James Damore because that was fucking retarded. Anyways, the point of this, let's get back into it because I don't want to digress too far, but the important part is that I think we're running. So I'm looking for more downside potential on Bitcoin here, but just like everything else, you want to keep track of this on a daily basis. This is really going to help us understand where we're going on the short, intermediate, and long-term projections. The reason why we chart every day is because it just gives us the best outlook for what might be coming. Again, it doesn't, and we're not married to any particular result with this either, which is hugely important. Now, we had also been watching Fetch, MATIC, and One, and CELR on part of our list too. I'm not going to actually update that today just because I am having stream troubles and I want to make sure that I fix all this stuff before I go too deep into it. But basically, we're just looking for a potential downside. Around 6,400, I think, is where we'll see a massive bounce because we're right about to break through the middle of the bear claw here. If we break through the middle of the bear claw here on the daily, there's not a whole lot holding us up. Between, 7,400 was the first area of test, followed by 6,900, 6,400, and then 53 and 4,700. Those are the lines and the areas of projection I'm looking at. How quickly it takes to get there, well, it could be the next month or two. If I were to roughly draw out and suspect what I would see, it'd be something like this. A, B, C wave. Actually, we may have even already seen the C wave with a correction down to around 7,000. I actually said 6,400 the other day, but again, this is all, the time frames on this are very bendy and mutable. So it's not like we necessarily, hey baby, it's not like we can necessarily, it's not like we can necessarily pay attention to what's going to happen before it gets there. This is not a prediction model. This is a best case scenario for where we find support and resistance. So on the daily chart here, if we actually scroll out a little bit, you can see there's not a whole lot holding us up below 7,200 all the way down to 5,000. So if we do break this area, we could come crashing down to the $5,300 area very, very, very quickly. This would be almost considered like a flash crash to anyone new in the space. So I think it's important to keep your eyes on this. I'm going to do updates probably from now on with pre-recorded videos, maybe except for Sundays where we do a live trading. For now, it's just because until I figure out how to get all my live streaming stuff back online, because I lost the platform I was using, I'm going to switch over to OBS anyways. If anyone knows how to use OBS better than I do, which is probably everybody, welcome for your guys' support and input. But with that in mind, I'm just going to keep today's video short. Again, keep us keep an eye on this because we're in very critical territory. And again, see, this is a very, very important spot here, right at the 7,600 to 7,500 and 7,400 dollar line. This is the exact middle of our bear claw. So for those of you that don't have the bear claw on your charts, if you'd like to, you can follow us at Arcane Bear. Please do follow us at Arcane Bear. We added a new indicator too. This is called the Arcane Eagle's Nest. This is a great one. Credit goes to Chris Moody for building the original here. All we did was tweak it. It's the top one here. It's a moving average, convergent, divergent, a multi-time frame with your stochastic cross. It's a beautiful little script. We just updated it. Again, we tweaked it a little to our own settings and perspectives, and we used it here to match the way we like to trade. So again, follow us on Arcane Bear under Trading View as well. I guess I'm not even logged in right now. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Arcane Bear published charts. Let's go back here. Yes, so you can log in, follow us there, download the Eagle's Nest, the Bear Claw, and the Eagle Crossing. Be sure to give us a thumbs up. 141.78 on this. I really like using Trading View. We're on here posting more often. We actually looking for the end of some of the waves here. And here is the last post we made about the end of wave 5 for Bitcoin by one of our admins, Jordan. So check it out. I'm not logged in. I can't watch this. Oh, there we go. Perfect. So here we go, up to the top, and then bang, started to fall back down to our C wave. So we've now completed C wave. Whether we go up to complete D and E, that's going to be the next prime objective to pay attention to. Anyways, again, I am having troubles with the stream. I don't know how to fix it necessarily yet, so I'm going to look into doing that. I apologize for all of the delays. I'm just going to start using my phone for videos because apparently YouTube wants me to produce something every day. So even if it's just me ranting, I will probably do that. Anyways, I want to thank you guys all for joining us. Remember to give us those thumbs up if you like the content. If you don't, give us the thumbs down. Either way, I'm happy. It's been one hell of a ride. I know. I think there's a beautiful YouTube video with Joe Rogan and Naval last night. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Navikant? I think that's what it is. Anyways, the point of this is brilliant conversation. One of the best I've heard from Joe Rogan in a long time. Also one of Bitcoin's billionaires and top blockchain influential people. Brilliant mind. But again, you know, when we put our names on the line, we act publicly. We're taking a risk, but we can be rewarded highly for it. And I want to thank you guys all for joining me on taking that risk. Even though I don't use my personal name, like I said, Tio was actually the name that my grandma gave me. It means a lot more to me. Anyways, especially nowadays. So I'm going to sign off. Thank you all for joining us. It's been one heck of a ride. As I figure out how to use OBS here, I think we'll have a little bit of a smoother ride together. I just got to figure out what that is. Anyways, Tio with the Arcane Bear. I'm going to sign off for the rest of the day. Thank you guys all for joining us.